Everyone keeps talking about the blue moon like it's just a pretty sky event, like you'll glance up, take a photo, post it, and go to bed. But nobody's telling you what's actually happening in your life right now, and why this specific 3-day window, May 29th, 30th, and 31st, is doing something to the energy around you that you can physically feel, whether you believe in astrology or not. I've been sitting with this for weeks, and I have to be honest with you before we go any further. Some of what I'm about to share is going to sound uncomfortably specific, like I've been reading your diary. I haven't, but the sky has. Let's start with what's actually in the sky right now, because this isn't made up and it isn't vague. On May 31st, 2026, at exactly 4:45 in the morning Eastern Time, the moon reaches full phase at 9 degrees and 55 minutes of Sagittarius. That's the blue moon, the second full moon in a single calendar month. The first one was back on May 1st in Scorpio, and now we close the month with this one in Sagittarius, and that bookend is not accidental. We opened May in the deep, psychologically intense waters of Scorpio, dredging up what was hidden, processing what was buried. And now we're closing it in Sagittarius fire, the sign of the archer, the truth teller, the one who looks at the target and refuses to aim anywhere less than exactly where they mean to go. And while all of that is happening in Sagittarius, step outside after sunset on any of these 3 nights and face west. You will see Venus blazing at magnitude -3.9, the brightest thing in the sky after the moon itself, and just above and to her right, Jupiter glowing at -1.7. They are moving toward each other. Every single night this week, the gap between them closes. By the night of the blue moon, they are under 9 degrees apart, building toward one of the closest planetary pairings of the entire year. Their exact conjunction on June 9th. And then look toward the northwest horizon and you'll catch Mercury, low and faint, but there, the 3 of them forming a nearly perfect diagonal line stretching upward from the horizon. Turn east before sunrise and you'll find Mars and Saturn rising together. 4 classical planets, all visible with your naked eyes, all framing the same blue moon. That has not happened since August of 2023. The next calendar blue moon won't arrive until December of 2028. You are inside this right now. Here are the 7 signs. Sign 1. You keep almost saying something, and this weekend, it finally comes out. You know the thing. You've been carrying it around for weeks, maybe longer. The opinion you keep swallowing at the dinner table. The need you haven't named out loud yet because naming it feels too real. The conversation you've been rehearsing in your head at 11 p.m. and then deciding to postpone again. Sagittarius is the sign in astrology that is physiologically incapable of long-term silence on things that matter. It's the sign that would rather say the uncomfortable thing and deal with the fallout than spend another month pretending everything is fine. And this blue moon, with the sun sitting directly across in Gemini, creating that full moon opposition, is pulling hard on the axis between what sounds polished and what's actually true. This isn't permission to be reckless. Saturn is forming a trine to this moon, which means the structural ability to handle this conversation with maturity and care is genuinely available to you right now. You're not going to blow everything up, but something is going to come out. And the question is, whether you say it consciously, with intention, on your own terms, or whether it slips out sideways in a moment of frustration, in a context you didn't choose. Blue moon energy doesn't sit quietly forever. It finds its exit. Notice what's been pressing against the back of your teeth this week. That's the sign. Sign 2. Someone from your past shows up, in person, in a dream, or in your thoughts so loudly, it's basically a visit. Blue moons have carried a folklore reputation for centuries, long before modern astrology formalized the pattern for bringing back what was left unfinished. And this particular blue moon, as it moves through the sky on the night of May 30th and 31st, is passing directly by Antares, the red supergiant heart of the constellation Scorpius, blazing at magnitude 1, orange-red and unmistakable in the southern sky. In some parts of the southern hemisphere, the moon will actually occult Antares on May 31st, briefly covering it completely before moving on. Antares has been associated in traditional star lore with intensity, irreversibility, and threshold moments, the kinds of turning points you don't fully understand until years later. When the moon passes this star under blue moon conditions, it activates a very particular kind of memory recall, not the nostalgic, soft focus kind, the sharp kind, the kind where a person's face arrives in your mind with sudden precision, or where a specific moment from years ago replays with new meaning, or where someone you haven't spoken to in a long time decides, for reasons they probably couldn't explain, that now is the time to reach out. This sign asks one question: is there unfinished business here? Not necessarily in a painful way. Sometimes unfinished business is a thank you that never got said. Sometimes it's a chapter that closed too quickly. This weekend, pay attention to who arrives, in your inbox, in your dreams, or in the quiet of your own mind. Sign 3. A door you stopped knocking on suddenly opens from the inside. Let's talk about Venus and Jupiter for a moment, because this is the part of this sky event that doesn't get enough attention. Venus is moving toward Jupiter right now, at a pace you can track with your own eyes across consecutive nights. Venus rules desire, what your heart actually moves toward when you stop overriding it with logic. Jupiter rules expansion, abundance, and the kind of luck that isn't really luck at all, but rather the result of being in the right alignment at the right moment. When these two planets converge, and they are converging right now, this week, during the same window as this blue moon, the energy around your desires and your growth becomes unusually frictionless. This might show up as a professional opportunity that arrives with surprisingly little resistance. Someone reaches out, a conversation opens a path you weren't expecting. A decision that has felt impossibly complicated suddenly becomes clear. It might show up in the area of finances, not a lottery win, but a door that was locked becomes merely closed, and now the handle turns. It might show up in a creative project that suddenly has the momentum it was missing. The specific detail that matters here is the word toward. This energy rewards motion. Sagittarius is a fire sign, and fire signs don't generate warmth by sitting still. If there is something you have been moving toward, however hesitantly, however slowly, this blue moon weekend is when the energy in that direction gets a significant amplification. Take one step, just one. See what moves. Ashati, sign 4. Your body is trying to tell you something, and it is getting louder. Full moons have a physiological component that isn't purely metaphorical. The moon's gravitational influence on tidal water is measurable science. The human body is roughly 60% water. The correlation between lunar cycles and shifts in sleep quality, emotional reactivity, and physical restlessness has been observed and documented across cultures for thousands of years. Under a blue moon, the second full moon, in a calendar month, carrying the amplified charge of that doubled cycle, the body's signals become harder to tune out. What this might look like for you: sleep that's been disrupted for reasons you can't quite name this week, a low-grade restlessness that makes it hard to settle, or the opposite, an unusual exhaustion, like your body is processing something at a deep level and pulling energy inward to do it. Appetite shifts, an ache in your chest or your throat that doesn't have a clear physical cause, heightened sensitivity to environments that feel energetically off. None of this is pathological. All of it is information. Your body knows things before your mind catches up. And under blue moon energy, that gap between what your body knows and what your mind has acknowledged narrows significantly. If something has been asking for your attention physically this week, the sign is this: stop explaining it away. It's pointing somewhere real. Sign 5. The life you've been planning in your head starts demanding to become real. Here's something about Sagittarius energy that is both its gift and its challenge. It lives in the realm of vision, the possible, the what could be. Sagittarius is the sign that looks at the horizon and immediately starts calculating the journey, that reads about a place and begins to emotionally inhabit it before ever booking the flight. This is extraordinary for inspiration and deeply frustrating when that vision keeps living only inside your head while your actual life waits at a polite distance. This blue moon, positioned at 9 degrees 55 minutes of Sagittarius, is doing something specific. It's applying pressure to the gap between your imagined life and your lived one. That pressure can feel uncomfortable. It might show up as a sudden impatience. Why am I not further along? Energy that arrives without warning while you're doing something completely mundane. It might show up as a kind of grief for a version of your life you haven't built yet. It might show up as a fierce, almost irrational certainty that something has to change, and it has to change soon. This is not a crisis. This is calibration. Sagittarius blue moon pressure is not asking you to tear down everything you've built. It is asking you to stop treating your real life as a waiting room for the one you actually want. The vision you've been carrying is not decorative. What does it actually need from you? Not eventually, now. Sign 6. Something you thought you were over turns out to still have weight. The moon quincunx Mars aspect that is part of this blue moon chart creates a specific kind of energetic friction, an irritation that doesn't have a clean outlet, a tension that escalates if it doesn't find a constructive channel. And one of the ways this aspect tends to surface is through things we thought we had processed, had put behind us, had declared resolved, turning out to still be active at a deeper level than we realized. This isn't about reopening wounds for no reason. It's about the difference between suppressing something and actually completing it. You can decide you're done with a situation without the emotional charge of that situation actually neutralizing. You can move forward in behavior while something in your nervous system is still responding to the memory as though it's present. The quincunx asks for adjustment, a recalibration between where your head has declared you to be and where your emotional body still actually is. What might this look like? A conversation you thought was fully resolved suddenly gets a reaction from you that surprises you, because the volume of the reaction doesn't match the current provocation. Or something a loved one says lands in a place that tells you there's still tender territory there. Or you find yourself in a situation that structurally resembles something from your past, and your response makes clear that the older pattern hasn't fully been updated yet. This is the sign. Notice the mismatch. It shows you where the real work of this blue moon window still wants to happen. Sign 7. You get a moment of absolute clarity about what matters most, and everything else falls quiet. This is the one that's hardest to describe and the most important not to miss. Sagittarius is the sign of the philosopher and the archer, the one who can hold enormous complexity and enormous simplicity simultaneously, who can zoom out so far that the petty details of daily life stop mattering, and then zoom back in with laser precision to what is actually essential. Under a blue moon in this sign, particularly one as cosmically layered as this one, with Antares, with Venus-Jupiter converging, with 4 planets visible to the naked eye, framing the scene. Moments of genuine, uncluttered clarity become available in a way they rarely are in ordinary life. This might arrive during a walk outside on May 30th or 31st. It might arrive at 2 a.m. when you can't sleep. It might arrive during a completely ordinary moment. Washing the dishes, sitting in traffic, a pause between 2 other thoughts. And when it arrives, it won't feel dramatic. It will feel strangely quiet, like something inside you finally exhales. And in that quiet, something will become clear. What you're actually doing with your life, who you actually want beside you, what you're actually building, and whether any of it is actually aligned with what you know in your clearest moments to be true about who you are. Don't chase this moment. Don't manufacture it, but create conditions for it. Go outside on one of these nights. Look west and find Venus and Jupiter. Look south and find the moon blazing near Antares. Let the sky do what it has always done. Put your life into a scale that makes the noise quiet down. That quiet is the sign, and what arrives in it is the message. What this blue moon is asking of you. Let's be direct, because Sagittarius doesn't do anything else. The energy of May 29th through 31st is not asking you to perform a ritual or follow a formula. It's not asking you to suddenly transform into someone unrecognizable. It's asking something far more specific and far harder. It's asking you to stop postponing your own honesty about what you feel, about what you need, about what you've been settling for, about what you actually believe in now versus what you used to believe in and have been carrying out of habit. Sagittarius rules philosophy, and the most personal philosophy any of us hold is the one we apply to our own life. The set of premises we operate from, consciously or not, about what we deserve, what's possible, what's worth trying for. This blue moon is shining a very direct, very clear light into those premises, and some of them are going to look different under that light than they have in the ordinary dark. That can feel destabilizing. Change-adjacent feelings almost always do. But there's something else in this sky that is easy to miss. Saturn is trine this blue moon. Saturn, the planet of structure, of earned wisdom, of the kind of foundation that doesn't collapse in a crisis. The trine is a harmonious aspect. What that means, practically, is that the capacity to handle what this blue moon reveals, to be honest, without being destructive, to feel the full weight of a realization without being leveled by it, to make the adjustment this moment is calling for, that capacity is genuinely available to you right now. It's built in. You have more stability than this moment may feel like it's giving you credit for. Trust that. One last thing. The blue moon on May 31st, 2026 is technically the smallest full moon of the year. A micromoon, because the moon is at apogee, the farthest point from Earth in its elliptical orbit. Astronomically, it appears slightly smaller than an average full moon. There's something I find genuinely moving about that. the smallest full moon of the year, carrying what may be the most complex and charged energetic weather we'll see until at least the Pisces lunar eclipse in August. Size is not the measure of significance. You are in the last 3 days of May. You won't get them back, but you have them right now, all 3 of them, and they are not ordinary days. The sky is doing something rare. Your life is responding, whether or not you're paying attention. Pay attention. The 7 signs are already arriving. The truth pressing against the back of your teeth. The person from the past surfacing. The door opening from the inside. The body signaling what the mind hasn't caught up to. The imagined life demanding to become real. The thing you thought was done turning out to still have something to say. And in the quiet of one of these 3 nights, the moment of clarity, the exhale, the knowing, you are the one this blue moon found. And now you know what to do with it.